Every winter, communities the world over prepare for months of icy roads and snowstorms. But in the United States, we fight back against the cold and damp with a massive amount of road salt. How much? Try 22 million tons.
Every winter, communities the world over prepare for months of icy roads and snowstorms. But in the United States, we fight back against the cold and damp with a massive amount of road salt. How much? Try 22 million tons. So, his pronunciation is very clear, but it's fast, and there are great cancellations in the, that's totally gone. Communities, so don't leave out your S's here. Lots of little S's. Lots of people left out the S here, left out the S here. I left out the S here. Don't do that. You got to keep those S's. Snowstorm is one word, actually. And several of you, instead of damp, you wrote dump. So I'm not sure, because the pronunciation should be very different, right? Dump, dump, damp, damp. And if you listen, you're going to hear he absolutely says damp. So let's go over. Every winter, communities the world over. Yeah, that's a great expression. Probably a new expression for many of you, new style. Communities the world over. Countries the world over. Citizens the world over. Okay? You can say the state over, the country over, but especially the world over. This is really what we say. All over the world. Okay? We'll go ahead and listen here. Slide this over, zoom in. No, there we go. So let's listen.
Every winter, communities the world over prepare. Every winter, communities the world over prepare. Every winter, communities the world over prepare for months of icy roads.
You hear that S? Months of icy roads and.
Every winter, communities the world over prepare for months of icy roads and snowstorms. But in the months of icy roads and snowstorms. But months of icy roads and snowstorms. But
you can hear it. It's there. Months of icy roads and snowstorms. It's fast, I know, but it's there. Icy road, we have to have an icy road, the icy road, our local icy road. And if there's no article, no determiner, then it must be plural. And the same with snowstorms, okay? It must be plural. But in the United States,
months of icy roads and snowstorms. But in the United States,
But in the United, very fast. You guys did great. But in the United States.
But in the United States, we fight back against the cold and damp with a. But in the United States, we fight back against the cold and damp. The cold and damp with the cold and damp with a.
The cold and damp. Yep. The cold and damp with a. The cold and damp with a massive. The cold and damp with a massive.
The cold and damp with a massive. The cold and damp with a massive.
With a massive.
The cold and damp with a massive amount of road salt.
Amount of road salt. Good stop T there. Amount of road salt.
Massive amount of road salt. Massive amount of road salt. How much? Try 22 million tons.
Okay, so I gave you a question. Question number one was, where does this come from, right? And question number two is, why does he say try? Why does he say try? There's a reason, all right? Repeat after me. Every winter, communities the world over, communities all over the world, just a way to emphasize all over the world, okay? Communities the country over, communities the city over. It's possible. It's not wrong, but communities the world over is much more common. So stick with world. Prepare for months of icy roads and snowstorms. That's right. Where I live, many of you, unless you're living in Brazil like Coach Paul, but in the United States, we fight back against the cold and damp. Another song reference. Yeah. Do you know the name of the song? Oh, yes. Sound of Silence, Simon and Garfunkel. Disturbed. They do a great version. I like their version. I like both. They're both fantastic. Anyway, what does it mean to fight back against the cold and damp? It's not just the cold weather. It's cold weather, but it's also there's moisture. So if you have cold weather and humidity, moisture in the air, it's really cold. It can feel really cold. So dry, cold weather and dry, hot weather many times don't feel so bad. It's hot, it's cold, but, it's okay. But moist, humid, hot weather and moist or damp or wet or humid, cold weather, really feels cold. It's really different. So how do we fight against the cold and damp? With a massive amount of road salt. How much? Try 22 million tons. And I asked you why try. Margarita gave the absolute perfect answer. Her answer was so good, I just copied it. I think try is used to emphasize that whatever figure you might guess, it still won't be as high as the real one. And the real figure must be extremely surprising for you. Perfect. 1,000% perfect answer. 22 million tons. Oh my God, that's a lot.
Every winter, communities the world over prepare for months of icy roads and snowstorms. But in the United States, we fight back against the cold and damp with a massive amount of road salt. How much? Try 22 million tons. Every winter, communities the world over prepare for months of icy roads and snowstorms. But in the United States, we fight back against the cold and damp with a massive amount of road salt. How much? Try 22 million tons.